Welcoming you all that are present in this hall this morning. As you all know, the reason for us coming together this morning is to have national dialogue in commemoration of the International Day for Persons with Disabilities. And the theme, as you already can see in your program, is transformative solution to the disability inclusive development in Nigeria. But before we get into all of that, we will want to stand in recognition of our nation and sing the national anthem. So for those of us that can be on our feet, please let us be on our feet for the national anthem. We are going to sing it all out together. So at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
Nigeria is so proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you very much. I am Liman Usman, and my duty here this morning is to coordinate the affairs. I'm going to be the MC for the occasion, but I'm not doing it all alone. I have beside me here this pretty lady that is going to be doing it along with me, and her name is Fola Shade. Please let them hear your voice.
Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. You're all welcome to this special occasion. Liman, we didn't finish the national anthem.
I did what?
We didn't finish the national anthem.
We didn't sing it. So, should we retake?
Please, can we all rise
and
take the national anthem?
This time around.
It's on our pamphlet. Don't worry. The booklet with you.
So let us.
The wordings are there, so we can just.
Let us be sure we sing it out. If you don't know the words, it's already there on your booklet. So just follow what you can see. So in another count again, please. 1, 2, 3.
Can we all rise, please, ladies and gentlemen?
So let's go. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our motherland. All right, thank you very much for that. Okay.
Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign in peace or battle. Honored, and this we count as gain. To honor to our children, our banner without stain. O God of creation, grant this one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Okay. There are 2 facts worthy of note this morning. And fact number 1 is the fact that we are going to be having a long day. And fact number 2 is that there will be no dull moment. you will have a very good and lovely time as you help us to do things quickly in order today, because we are already starting late. We will want to ensure that we don't take more time in doing things. All right, having said that, we will want to quickly start the ball, set the ball rolling by inviting one person that I really, really respect. He took over the mantle of leadership of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities some few months ago, and he's already showing signs that, yeah, he's ready for business. Please, together, let's welcome Chief Ayuba Gufwan for the welcome address.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much. Our team of wonderful, wonderful masters of ceremony. It's so delightful that we had to sing the national anthem again and again. I have the singular honor and pleasure of welcoming our most distinguished guests. Thank you so very much for honoring our invitation to the celebration of this year's International Day of Persons with Disabilities. We have a wonderful theme for this year, Amplifying the Leadership of Persons with Disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable society. That is a very beautiful theme. And I pray that all of us here, leaders in our respective rights, take that into account. We need to amplify our leadership. Whatever we have done in the past, to blow it open, to make it huge. Thank you so very, very much. It's a special day in the life of all over 35 million Nigerians living with disabilities. As we said, it's a day for stock taking. Where are we coming from? Where are we now? And where are we headed? Those are the important issues that we should bear from today going forward. I'm deeply delighted that we are here today and highly appreciate your finding time to grace this occasion. The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and our wonderful team of partners, very great, wonderful partners who have sacrificed immensely over the years and still doing more going forward. We thank you so very much, and I wish us all a very wonderful and great celebration this year. Thank you so very much.
Please, let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to another International Day of Persons with Disability. The International Day for Persons with Disability is usually celebrated in different climes, in different ways. The Commission, and in partnership with ROLAC and other associations, NGOs, have decided to celebrate this way. And I know that at the end of today, we will know where we are, our challenges, because more awareness will be created, and discussions with panelists, of course, will point us in the right direction. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to welcome the dignitaries now. We are all special today, but we have some dignitaries amidst us that would like to welcome that are here present. I'd like to start by welcoming Mr. Danlami Plan. He's here amidst us. Mr. Abdulaziz Musa. Mr. Danlami Plan is the head of programs Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption ROLAC program. Please let's give him a big round of applause. Mr. Abdulaziz Musa is the country director, CMB Global, Disability Inclusion. You're welcome, sir. We also have the distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe of the FCT. You're welcome, ma. I'm going to recognize more as I get the list, but the distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe should please come forward to give a special remarks. Please let's clap for her. She comes forward.
Duly observed. My name is Senator Ireti Kingibe, and I'm here representing Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President. Today we come together with a shared spirit of inclusivity, hope, and determination, united by a common purpose to advance the rights and inclusions of persons with disabilities in our great nation. As we commemorate the 2024 International Day of Persons with Disabilities, I am profoundly honored to stand before you, not merely as the President of the Senate or as the Senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, but as a passionate advocate for equality, dignity, and opportunity for all. Mobility, excuse me, just a moment, please. Reflecting on history, we remember America's 32nd president, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Diagnosed with poliomyelitis, he faced years of therapy, enduring paralysis from the waist down and relying on a wheelchair and leg braces for mobility. Yet, despite these challenges, he rose to become President of the United States, leading the nation to triumph during World War II from his wheelchair. He famously declared that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Roosevelt embodied the belief that unity, resilience, and courage can conquer even the most formidable barriers. Today, we must harness that same indomitable spirit as we confront the obstacles faced by those with disability every day. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the statistics are staggering. In Nigeria, approximately 35 million people live with disabilities, each possessing dreams, talents, and contributions longing to be realized. This is not merely a statistic. It represents our brothers, our sisters, and our friends, the very essence of our society. This potential is boundless, yet it remains stifled by societal barriers and lack of inclusive policies. The 10th Senate is resolutely committed to collaborating with all stakeholders to ensure that we evaluate and treat individuals based on the abilities of their minds, not the disabilities of their bodies. We believe that democracy is not only about the right to vote, but also about the right to aspire to whatever one desires to be. Allow me to share a story that embodies the spirit of resilience we celebrate today. Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf, graduated at the top of her class at Radcliffe College and was recognized as one of the 100 most influential individuals of the last century by Time magazine. When asked what could be worse than being born blind, she said, "To have eyes and no vision." I urge everybody facing physical challenges to understand that the doors of opportunity can be unlocked with the keys of vision, integrity, and diligence. As we embark on this national dialogue on transformative solutions to disability inclusive development in Nigeria, let us remember that our mission extends beyond discussing the challenges. It is also about forging actionable paths forward. Together, let us raise awareness, promote policy engagement, and amplify the voice of persons with disabilities. We must ensure that every Nigerian has a seat at the table, that every voice is heard, that every individual has the opportunity to thrive. Let us draw inspiration from Roosevelt's leadership during trying times. He understood that a nation's strength lies in its ability to uplift all citizens, particularly those facing the greatest challenges. It is our desire to ensure that no one is left behind, that we create a Nigeria where everyone can contribute to our collective future. In conclusion, I urge each of you here today, government officials, civil society leaders, and advocates, to join hands and hearts as we strive for more inclusive and equitable society. The story of the Good Samaritan illustrates 3 ways to engage with others. We can beat them up, pass them by. Let us commit ourselves to lifting our brothers and sisters with disabilities, for you cannot keep someone down without remaining down with them. In unity lies our strength, and in inclusion lies our progress. Thank you for your commitment, your courage, and your vision for a brighter future for all Nigerians. Let us move forward inspired by the promise of what we can achieve when we truly believe in one another. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We move on to more recognition. I'd like to recognize the SSA to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, Honorable Abba Issa. I would also like to recognize the presence of Dr. Joy Shuaibu, Country Director, Site Savers. Please, let's clap, let's appreciate them. Mr. Samuel Omoy is also here, the Country Director, CBM International. Mr. Sunday Udo, the Country Director, the Leprosy Mission, Nigeria. Cindy Ijoma, Senior Social Development Advisor, World Bank Nigeria Office. I would also like to recognize the presence of Mrs. Binta Adamu Bello, the Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. Professor Paulinus Chijioke is also here, the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Colleges of Education. I would also like to recognize the presence of Mr. Muhammad Goni Alkali. Is the managing director, CEO, Northeast Development Commission. Honorable Yusuf Umar, the Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Religious Affairs, Ethical and Reorientation, Yobe State, is here representing the Executive Governor of Yobe State. You're welcome, sir. Here present is also the Ambassador Designate of the European Union Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Mr. Gautier Mignon. You're welcome, sir. We also have we welcome everyone here present. Thank you, Liman. Okay, so we move to the goodwill messages now. Can we please have Dr. Joy Shuaibu, the country director, Site Savers, for our goodwill messages, for our goodwill message. Is she around? Okay. We'd like to call the SSA to the president his goodwill message first. Please, let's welcome him to the podium. Honorable Abba Isa. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Army Forces, President Aswaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima GCON, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the representative of the Senate President, who is here with us, a woman activist, the Speaker, House of Representatives, all our governors in the 36 states. Let me specifically recognize the presence of my governor of Yobe State, Governor Memala Buni, who is heavily represented here by Honorable Yusuf Atu, who is currently the Commissioner of Regional Affairs. Please, can you give him a round of applause? And also let me also recognize the presence of the Chief of Army Staff, who is just coming. He is always in support of us. So you are highly welcome. I want to, on behalf of Mr. President, and part of the mandate that Mr. President gave me, to liaise with development partners, I want to specifically extend a warm greeting and thankful on behalf of Mr. President to all development partners on this year for what you have been doing, supporting organization or person with disability, building their capacity, mobilize resources to them to carry advocacy for a long. I want to thank you more sincerely on behalf of Mr. President, members of the Port of the Rim, media. We really appreciate what you have been doing. Media amplify the voice of persons with disability. We cannot do without media. And I want to tell you, this program is mainstreaming live from Bila in order to tell you all the world the effort of persons with disability, and they are with us to commemorate on these days. Having said that, International Day is a day set aside by United Nations General Assembly in order to commemorate with persons with disability. The essence of the day is to create awareness and to empower persons with disability and to engage the policy maker, duty bearers, civil society organization to identify gaps and push for the government implementation. We appreciate the government of the day for giving us an enabling ground. We appreciate the government of the day for enacting a law that can protect the life of persons with disability and establish The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities that serve as a framework, we really appreciate the government of the day. We appreciate the government of the day for institutionalized politically to persons with disability. We appreciate the government of the day, more especially, specifically the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for signing African Charter of Demand of the Right of Persons with Disability in order to align the Nigerian government with international treaties. We appreciate that. Mr. President, under his wisdom also appointed me as a senior special assistant on special need and equal opportunity, as his presidential aide on promoting equal opportunity. And he mandated me to liaise with ministry, department, agencies of government, subnational government, development partners, civil society organization of persons with disability, to make sure I work with them, to make sure their policy, plan, program are in calculation with the requirement of the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is the mandate that Mr. President gave me. And we are working hand in collaboration with the National Commission for Persons with Disability and relevant ministries and agencies to make sure that we promote disability inclusive development. So far, so good. We engage the ministry, department, and agency of government through interagency and interministerial summit in the Bila in regard to disability, and we have gone far. And recently, Mr. President will going to launch a presidential task force committee in order to speedy the implementation process. We have a challenge in the implementation of Disability Act. So I'm calling on all development partners, civil society organizations. Government alone cannot do. We need to foster collaboration. We need to emulate. We need to foster collaboration on this day. This day is a day of only not celebration. It's the day to celebrate our resilience. PWD, our people of resilience. We are not all like equal. And I want to assure you that government of the day is fully committed in disability inclusion, having seen all the indices that government has provided. And lastly, I want to appeal, special appeal on behalf of 35.1 Nigerian persons with disability. We have to be united to foster collaboration. And we need to invest in creating awareness. Awareness, we need it. No ignorance of law is not an excuse. The time for implementation is now, and all hands must be up there. Thank you so much. God bless Nigeria, and congratulations to all Nigerian persons with disability for this beautiful day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bola Shade.
Thank you very much, SSA, for that lovely and wonderful message. Now, to continue, we're going to be listening to the Honorable Minister for Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction, but he is not here in person. He's ably represented by Sunday Ezekiah. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm told he's here. Okay, okay. I thought Sunday is representing him. Sunday Hezekiah is representing the Minister for Humanitarian.
The representatives of the President and Vice President of the Federation. This one. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Representatives of the President and Vice President of the Federation. Ministers are here. The representative of the Secretary of Government of the Federation, the representatives of the governors of the 36 states of Nigeria that are here, honorable ministers of various ministries that are here, development partners, NGOs, CBOs, the Executive Secretary of the National Commission of Persons with Disabilities, and all other protocols duly observed. I beg to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Sunday Hezekiah, the Director of Special Needs Department of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. I'm here to represent my Honorable Minister, Professor Nentewe Goshwe Yelwada, and the State Minister of the Ministry, Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu. They would have loved to be here, but unfortunately, because of other agencies of office, they are outside Abuja. And that's why I was directed to come and represent them. So I bring fraternal greetings from the ministry to everyone that is here today for this occasion. One is to celebrate the International Day for Persons with Disability, to felicitate with them. This is a special day for them. And to also engage in this national dialogue. I wish to commend the efforts of the National Commission of Persons with Disability for organizing this wonderful event by calling on all stakeholders to commemorate here today for this event. I say welcome to you all. I also want to seize this opportunity to also welcome all disability clusters that are here today. We show our concern over the plight of PWDs in Nigeria and the world over. Nigeria is joining other countries of the world to also celebrate this great day with you people. It's to show our commitment, concern over your plight. Like has been said earlier, that we need an inclusive society where the rights of PWDs are maintained, defended, and protected by the society. We can't do without them. There's ability in disability. So it's not as if because they are persons with disabilities, they are not resourceful or they are not talented, they are not able to perform their duties as their counterparts. No. Like the SSA to the minister has just said, to the president has just said, that we need more awareness on Disability Act. And this awareness should also go to the National Assembly, because that is where our problem lies. Yes, the act is already enacted, signed, it has become a law. Yes, but we have challenges concerning that. In the era of funding, if the Disability Act says PWDs should be taking care of their school, welfare, education, and what have you, then the resources allocated or appropriated by the National Assembly is too meager. PWD's project is an expensive project. It's an expensive project. I know what I'm passing through. It's not something I will begin to say here. But in a nutshell, the budget approved by National year in, year out is inadequate, grossly inadequate for PWD's project in Nigeria. Now is the right time that ministry will now go before National Assembly and start defending budgets. So this is the right time. I expect PWD's stakeholders, organizations, the ministry, as well as the commission, to carry this campaign to the National Assembly. Let them do the needful. The Executive Secretary may agree with me. The budget for 2024, how much was it approved for the commission to run the affairs of PWDs in Nigeria? The Department of Special Needs, which my SSA to the president knows what I'm talking about. He knows everything. how much was appropriated in 2024 budget. Now we are about moving to 2025. So we need to make the National Assembly understand that PWD's project is not a project that the society should play with. I standing here, I don't know the next minute or second, I may become a PWD member. I may belong to the community. Accidents occur, sicknesses occur, communal clashes, bandits and other things, they occur in the society. So on daily basis, there are more intakes or more members entering into the PWD's community. So the better we lay a good foundation for PWD's persons in Nigeria, the better. The earlier, the better. If not, one day you may fall victim of being a PWD. So if you are in a position of doing something for the interest of PWD, better do it before it is too late. If not you, your family may become a member. The SSA, he told us his story someday. He was not born like this. All of a sudden, he woke up and saw himself in this way. It can happen to me, it can happen to any of us here. So we have to be very careful the way we manage the affairs of PWDs in Nigeria. So today, I am happy that we have very strong, energetic, and resourceful stakeholders that are here today to dialogue on these inclusive program projects that will carry the PWDs along, world over, and especially in Nigeria. We should situate it in Nigeria so that we can move forward. Without them, the development of Nigeria cannot be complete. But with them, everything will be complete. That is my belief. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunday Ezekiah. We would like to recognize the presence of the representative of the Chief of Army Staff, Brigadier General B.S. KG, for his message. Please, let's clap for him. Let's welcome him to the podium.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Nothing about us without us, right? So I'm sorry for the break in transmission. Pardon me, sir. But I want to appeal to our media guys, videographers, photographers. Nothing about us without us. Let us not obstruct or block the view of those who are trying to, deaf interpreters, sign language interpreters, deaf-blind interpreters that are trying to ensure that there is wholesome communication in the room. So check behind you if you see that you are blocking anyone's view. Just be mindful that we are here because of persons with disabilities. The people in the room are more important than the cameras, they are more important than the footage, they are more important than the news. So thank you very much. Sorry for that, sir.
The representative of the Vice President of Nigeria, please permit me, somebody is already standing on the existing photograph or leaning on the existing photograph. Permit me to sit on the existing photograph. I'm here to represent the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Oluyede. This speech is an ambush because I'm not meant to make speech here. But since I'm here, I will do the needful. On behalf of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, especially Nigerian Army, we are glad to associate with this body. We also have people living with disabilities in the Army as a result of several wars. They are presently engaging. So we are also stakeholders in this noble event, and that's why the Chief of Army Staff have directed that I should come in person and express his sincere gratitude. And he has earlier sent his support for this gathering through the account that was provided for us. And we'll still do more as time goes on, because we also have, we are stakeholders here. We are not guests here at all. because we also have our soldiers that are also living with disability. And we are still in war, and we don't expect to see more anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brigadier General BSKG there. I would also like to, I've mentioned before, the representative of the Ambassador Designate of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS is ably represented by Mr. Ruben Alba. Mr. Ruben Alba, let's welcome him. Thank you for coming.
Okay, I will be introducing the next person to talk with us, but let me just quickly make an observation. When Sunday Ezekiel was talking, he said he could become a member of the PWD, and I heard people clapped. No, we are not wishing that our population increase, so we will not clap to that. So in as much as we will want things to improve for the PWDs, we want the number to reduce, not to increase. Having said that, we are going to be welcoming Mrs. Binta Adamu. Mrs. Binta Adamu Bello is the Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. That's NAPTIP for short. You know, she is trying to help us to reduce this modern slavery that some people are introducing. So please, let's put our hands together as we welcome her.
May I also be allowed to stand on the existing protocol? My name is Binta, as been introduced, and I want to respectfully recognize all my family members here. That is the people living with disability. Why did I say my family members? I am one of you. Anybody that's watched the way I walk to this place, I have a challenge on my left leg as a result of an accident way back to 2007 in a gym. I'm still with it. So I am physically challenged also. So I'm a family member. I also, with very heavy heart, will inform this gathering that some 7 years ago, my own daughter had a stroke. She is now physically challenged, but she lives her life. Very busy, always busy. She refused to allow that to get into her brain and make her feel that within the years she lived without that, probably she was now to be sat at home and be taken care of by her sibling. No, she's everywhere. She's an event planner, she is a caterer, she is this, she is that, and because of that, I respect and love every person I see that is physically challenged, because I know that with the kind of society we live, let me just say, in every extended family, we could have somebody who is physically challenged. So, having shared my personal experience, I want to go back to my office as the Director General NAPTIP and recognize the distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen that are here. It gives me great pleasure to participate in this year's International Day for Persons with Disabilities. Today, I join the world in celebrating your resilience an unwavering commitment to proving that there is ability in every person with disability. Everybody has a potential, no matter the kind of physical challenge we have. On this special occasion, I wish to reassure you of NAPIP's unwavering commitment to working hand in hand with the Disability Commission to combat every act of violence perpetrated against persons with disability. It is through this partnership that we can create a safer and more inclusive society for all of us. NAPTIP has undertaken significant measures to ensure that we integrate inclusive best practices in our operations. This includes the development of our first ever NAPTIP disability policy, a landmark step towards creating a more inclusive environment. We have also ensured the provision of sign language interpreters in our sensitization programs, making our initiative accessible to everybody. Furthermore, we have taken deliberate steps to recruit persons with disabilities to serve as operatives of the agency. This not only promotes diversity within our workforce, but also ensure that we have a team that understands and emphasizes with unique challenges faced by persons with disability. As I speak to you, I have a well-learned lawyer in the agency who is he's a deputy director in the agency and very, very highly active in prosecution. As we celebrate today, let us remember that the fight for human rights is a collective responsibility. Each and every one of us has a role to play in achieving a world where everyone is equal and free from oppression. Together, we can create a society where every individual, regardless of ability, can live a life of dignity and respect. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. I want to apologize because I have another immediate responsibility outside. I will not be able to stay for the next program, but I will leave my director, who is in charge of violence against persons, to stand in for me at the discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Madam, we really want to thank you very much for that nice speech. Coming next is Dr. Joy Shuaibu, who is from the Sight Savers country director. She's the country director of Sight Saver. Please put your hands together.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sure when he mentioned Dr. Joy Shuaibu, everybody was looking forward to seeing a lady. My name is Fabian Tukman. I work for Sight Savers. Standing here, I represent Dr. Joy Shuaibu and the good people of Sight Savers Nigeria Country Office. Before I start, I will beg for us to have a tweak on the old narrative by saying there is ability in disability. Can we change it a bit to there is productivity in disability? That is because I have seen productivity. I have been working with persons with disability for more than a decade, and I have witnessed how they have transformed lives and how they have impact in human beings. So without much wasting of your time, I would beg to stand on existing protocol, and every message you see here or read here, it's directly from Dr. Joy Shoaibu. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. It is an honor to be here today on this special occasion as we celebrate the annual International Day for Persons with Disability. This day is a powerful reminder of our collective responsibility to promote inclusion, equality, and opportunity for all. Allow me to introduce Sightsavers, an organization I'm proud to represent. At Sightsavers, we work tirelessly to make the world a more inclusive place. Our mission focuses on two critical areas: preventing avoidable blindness and advancing disability inclusion. Today, I will share insights into our work in disability inclusion and how we're helping to transform lives. We believe that true inclusion is comprehensive, and this belief guides our efforts across multiple sectors. In health, we advocate for accessible healthcare services for persons with disabilities, ensuring that no one is left behind. In education, we support the development of inclusive system, so every child, regardless of their disability, has access to equality learning opportunities. In eye health, we deliver life-changing interventions to restore vision and improve quality of life. And in economic empowerment, we open pathways for persons with disabilities to thrive in the workforce and contribute meaningfully to society. One of the core pillars of our work is to supporting persons with disabilities to find dignified employment. We understand that employment is not just about earning a living, it is about independence, purpose, and identity. That is why we actively work with companies to help them become more disability inclusive. We provide guidance, tools, and trainings to ensure the businesses create accessible environment where persons with disability can excel. From recruitment processes to workplace adjustments, we help employers understand the needs of employees and disabilities. But our work doesn't stop there. We also engage the governments to develop inclusive policies that drive systemic changes. By collaborating with policymakers, we ensure that the foundation for inclusion is strong and sustainable. One of our most exciting initiatives is the Access to Work scheme, which will be launched in the first quarter of 2025. This scheme is designed to address a critical barrier, the cost of reasonable accommodations. Through this initiative, small businesses will receive funding to provide the reasonable accommodations needed to support employees with disabilities. Whether it is accessible technology, modified workplaces, or other adjustments, this funding will empower small companies to hire and retain persons with disabilities. The Access to Work scheme is yet another example of how Sightsavers is taking bold steps towards achieving our mission of full inclusion. It is a practical solution that will benefit employees, employers, and society as a whole. As we reflect on today's theme of disability inclusion, I encourage everyone here to consider how you can contribute this movement. Whether you are a business leader, policymaker, or community member, we all have a role to play. As Sightsavers, our commitment to unwavering, together with our partners, we will continue to break barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create opportunities for persons with disability to live full and empowered lives. Thank you for your time, your partnership, your dedication to creating a more inclusive world. Let us move forward together with purpose and determination. Thank you, and may we all live today inspired, take action. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are still on the goodwill messages. Next on the outline is Mr. Dan Ladi Plan. He's the head of programs, rule of law, and anti-corruption ROLAC program. Please, let's welcome him to the podium.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to also rest on the existing protocol for the day, quite a long one. I bring to you greetings from International IDEA and also from the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, which is one of the programs that is funded by the European Union. Quite a lot has been said about why we are here. I think one of the remarkable things that have been mentioned earlier is the fact that we have a community of about 35 million persons. The reason for why we are here. And for me, looking at this number, it's so large that even some countries are not, their population is not up to this 35 million. And therefore, for us as a country, it makes even the statement more apt that there cannot be any form of development without factoring and including this large population of Nigerians. And therefore, this event today, that is to commemorate the International Day for Persons with Disabilities, is very important for us to look back and see how far we have gone in terms of integrating their needs in national development. I think one thing that perhaps we need to always focus on in terms of integration and inclusion is to ensure that every sector of society is captured when providing for the needs of persons with disabilities. For us in the ROLAC program, our work focuses on 3 key areas of work: criminal justice reform, access to justice for women, children, and persons with disabilities, and anti-corruption. And so far, we have been engaged in these 3 areas, integrating the needs of persons with disabilities, and then working with our partners, especially the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. In fact, our work precedes the establishment of the Commission because our work commenced with support for the development and passage of the law itself and the establishment of the Commission. And since then, we have not rested on our hours to continue to work with the Commission. One of the things that we have found worthy in doing is to ensure that we don't focus at the federal level alone, but also look at the states, and we have supported quite a number of states to ensure that the Disability Act is passed and the commissions responsible for implementing them are set up and they function properly. One of the core things that we are doing at the moment is doing a study on integrating the needs of persons with disabilities and generally vulnerable persons in the criminal justice sector. And we are hoping that this will provide some guidelines on how support for persons with disabilities can be integrated in the criminal justice sector. This is important because access to justice is one of the key drivers of development. If people's rights are not protected or promoted, it will be difficult for them to realize their potentials. Another area that we've been working on is looking at the challenges faced by persons with disabilities in our correctional centers. And recently we supported the development of a mental health protocol that will help in addressing the needs of persons with disabilities, especially those with mental illness that find themselves in conflict with the law. and in our correctional centers. Perhaps the last thing I would mention here is to commend the resilience of persons with disabilities. When we engage with you in your different clusters and groups, we see the challenges that you face on a daily basis and also in the task of supporting your members. For me, is to commit to continue to support the persons with disabilities under the rule of law and anti-corruption program. And indeed, in other aspects of work that International IDEA is involved in promoting democracy. I believe our funding agency, the European Union, will continue to support this area, not just in the justice sector, but also in other sectors. Once again, thank you for listening, and I hope that at the end of the day, we should be able to gather as much inputs and directions and guidance from the conversations that will happen today to help us in the task of supporting persons with disabilities. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Dalami, for that goodwill message. We would like to please appeal to everyone taking the goodwill message to please do it in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Next is Mr. Abdulaziz Musa, the Country Director, CBM Global Disability Inclusion. Please let's welcome him as he comes forward. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning. Let me check. Oh, it's afternoon. It's 1 minute past 12. As a proper Nigerian, I would like to start by saying I would like to stand on existing protocols. My name is Abdul Aziz Musa. I am the Country Director for CBM Global Disability Inclusion. I am stressing that because if you look at the logos, you see that there are 2 CBMs. I am wearing a red face cap with a blue jacket. Also wearing glasses. And it's a beautiful day today. Do we agree? It doesn't seem like we agree. All right, lovely. A lot has been said, and my work has also been made easy by, requesting that we stick to 2 minutes. I am actually particularly excited to be here today for nothing other than the purpose of celebrating our society, celebrating humanity, because I believe issues around persons with disability are issues of justice, issues of human rights. If you look outside and look at the board, for me, I am particularly excited that we have many organizations coming together to join forces and put together a wonderful event like this. I would like to challenge us that this shouldn't only stop on the 2nd or 3rd of December. This should be things that we should be doing on a regular basis to ensure that we leave no one behind. Achieving transformational, backing it with funds. If we just have a law without funds, then it means we are just ticking the box, as we say. So I would like to, once again, challenge all of us that we should work, as individuals to change the narrative. We should not just go back again and, stay with this message. We should make sure we pass this message to 1 or 2 persons, because spreading awareness is really key in, transforming the lives of persons with disability, because most of the issues we have is lack of awareness. Because once you say inclusion, what comes into the head of organizations, persons or individuals is cost. But that's a very wrong way to look at it. You need to look at it from the opportunity. I have a colleague who most of you would see here today or later on, or I'm sure also most of you are familiar with. I just started working at CBM a couple of months ago, and he was born deaf. But anytime I receive a memo from him, I'm very amazed with the English with the written English and communication that, I'm always, how did he learn how to write English like this for a person that was born deaf? So for me, it's something that I'm really excited about. I'm also learning every day from my colleagues who are, living with the experiences. So I would like to, encourage us that, we should go back and meet one or two people as well, tell them about, increase their awareness. At CBM, we do not only advocate, we also try to share our experiences, our expertise on how you can do inclusion, in your organization through our disability advisory services. So this is something that, we can also support organizations that are here, governments, when you want to do inclusion. So it's not just about saying inclusion or just about accessibility, but we'll work with you to show you how to do the budgeting, how to do the programming, and also monitor, to ensure that we have a truly inclusive society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I announced earlier the representative of the ambassador designate of the European Union and ECOWAS is ably represented by Mr. Ruben Alba. We would like to take your goodwill message, sir. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you.
Good morning. Please allow me also to stand on existing protocol. And on behalf of our ambassador designate, His Excellency Mr. Gauthier Mignon, who couldn't be here with us today, I'm very proud and very honored to address you briefly at this event commemorating the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Unfortunately, people with disabilities are being left behind in development. Even if inclusion is affirmed in the UN Convention of Human Rights of Persons with Disabilities and many other international instruments, we know that many interventions are still failing to include people with disabilities. Disability inclusion involves creating opportunities for everyone. And it is our hope at the European Union that the proceedings of the next few hours will result in positive conclusions and tangible results on how we can ensure a more inclusive society that fully respects the rights and dignity of all, regardless of disability status. It is also no secret that societal barriers place persons with disabilities at increased risk of violence, poverty, poorer health outcomes, marginalization, and fewer educational and employment opportunities. And such outcomes are not inevitable, however. And this is the reason why we at the European Union, we invest in disability inclusion, because we believe in you, because we care about you. The statistics were recalled earlier, 35 million people living with disabilities. And on average, this means that 9 out of 10 of disabled people in Nigeria are also living below the poverty line. And these are stories, these are people who are struggling, who are really suffering on a daily basis, and we need to do something about it. Of course, women, children, youth, they constitute one of the categories of neglected and marginalized sectors in Nigeria, in Africa, and beyond. And yet we know that humanity of a society is to a large extent measured by the way and the manner it treats these categories of their population, in particular persons with disabilities. Here in Nigeria, we commend the passage of the Disability Rights Law back in January 2019 and the establishment of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. These are indeed steps in the right direction and underscores the government's commitment to the rights of persons with disabilities. But as has been recalled already earlier today, we know that we've been reminded that a good and an adequate law is only effective as its implementation. And a failure to implement will render basically the law ineffective. So we cannot rest on our laurels. And I think, as has been mentioned, it's about time that we implement now and that we put, all of us, and you can count on the European Union to contribute, to put the money where our mouth is and make sure that we dedicate enough resources to fully implement that law. Inclusive development takes place when an entire community, including people with disabilities, benefit equally from the development process. And inclusive development is also about considering key areas such as awareness of an active involvement of marginalized groups and the appreciation of the diversity that disability brings. This is consistent with our own policy, with our own disability policy at the European Union, and it responds also to our own motto, nothing about us without us. The EU has been a strong partner in Nigerians' efforts to try to improve disability inclusion, and we've been working with a number of key stakeholders, many of them are present here today, to promote access to justice, political participation, as well as increasing access to basic social services. And we are proud of this work, and we want to continue moving forward together with all of the government authorities and different stakeholders, because it's a fight worth fighting. The community of persons with disabilities is very dear to us, and we have sought to prioritize their welfare while striving to include persons with disabilities at the heart of our own international partnerships across all of the interventions and projects that we fund in Nigeria. Therefore, it's also our duty to applaud the collaborative approach of today's events, bringing together all of the stakeholders, and to make sure that we continue working together moving forward to deliver as a whole, as a society, to make Nigeria stronger and more inclusive. We also welcome the new provisions of the Electoral Law Act of 2022 that also seek to enhance the participation of people with disabilities, and we believe that given the political will, the same progress could be made with regards to the participation of women in the electoral process. As the largest democracy in Nigeria, disability inclusion is crucial to the progress of the disability community in the continent and beyond. Everybody looks at Nigeria to be a leading example, and I think that's also a heavy burden that you also carry on your shoulders, and we need to be able to deliver. We need to make sure that Nigeria remains a beacon of hope and example for others. European Union, as the Nigerian partners, long-standing partnership that we are, we stand ready and committed to continue supporting the Commission and all the stakeholders here present to enhance the capacity, the integrity, and the dignity of persons with disabilities. I would like to conclude by thanking you all once again for the invitation to speak briefly today, and I wish you all very successful deliberations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's so nice. The Senior Social Advisor of World Bank in Nigeria is here with us. Her name is Cindy Ijema. She's the one to talk to us next. Please welcome her.
Is she here? Okay. Okay, since she's not here, we take the next person. Professor Polinius Chijioke is the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Colleges of Education. Professor Chijioke. Is he around? Okay. Since he's not here, we move on to Mr. Mohamed Goni Alkali, Managing Director, CEO, Northeast Development Commission. Is he around? Okay. He's not around. Okay. We'll take the next person on our list. Is the Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Religious Affairs and Ethical Reorientation, Yobe State, is here to represent the Executive Governor of Yobe State. You are welcome, sir.
Good afternoon or good morning, all of you. I'm here, my name's Alaji Yusuf Umar. I'm the Commissioner of Ministry of Religious Affairs and Ethical Orientation, Yobe State. I'm here to represent my amiable governor, Alaji Maimala Buni, CON, the executive governor of Yobe State, who is unavoidably absent because of commitments outside the country. I'm highly elated to be invited to represent my governor. The one and the only governor, I can tell you, who has soft spot for disabilities. At a time, some states push out some disabilities, particularly Almajiris, from their states. Do you know what this governor did? He said, come to my state. He provided succor for them, built rehabilitation centers, and took care of them. Today, I think the only governor in Nigeria who has done that. Also, I could remember during the coronavirus, most of the states were closed, churches, mosques were locked. He said, no, go ahead with whatever you are doing. And it may interest you to know, Yobe State has the least death ratio in Nigeria. So you can see this a governor that is very, very passionate as far as disabled people or whatever calamities that comes to the country is concerned. I want to tell you that I was part of you because I had a domestic problem. I slipped up from my toilet and I had a broken ankle. I used crutches for 1.5 years. And I'm happy Brigadier is here, both military and paramilitary. I happen to be a custom officer for 35 years. I served this country. Yet, even not because I had the opportunity of going outside to get myself fixed, I would have been retired. And Brigadier General can confirm what I've just said. There's no way when you are a military or paramilitary officer, you'll be working zigzag. But I'm happy I came out as you saw me today, working straight. It's an act of God. I want to tell you that there are abilities and disabilities. Some of the disabled people, if you see what they do constructively, some of them constructed their machines they use, this tricycle, they engage in so many things that you as an able person cannot even do. So there are abilities in disabilities. Please, let's appreciate these people with disabilities because they are part of us. As one of the speakers said, today we're able. Maybe next moment when we go out, we had accident, we had so many unfortunate things, then we fall back to the group. So if we don't accommodate them, there will be a problem. We must appreciate them or we must encourage them. And I'm happy some of the speakers have spoken that this thing was domesticated in 2022. I think we must appreciate President Buhari, am I right? Yes, we must appreciate him. This is in line with the hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Tinubu. We must come together and make sure that we assist these people. They are part of us. They are Nigerians. They are people like us. It's just by act of God that they happen to be or find themselves the way how they find themselves today. Please and please, we must come together to make sure that we go to the National Assembly. I'm so disgusted that when I asked the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President, he said the budget they had 2024 was just 11 million. What can 11 million do? Over 35 million people in Nigeria. They need to be well funded. There is need for all of us to come together and rise up and talk to our legislators. 35, in fact, it's not a question of 11, at least maybe 50 billion. I'm telling you, not 11 million. What can 11 million do? There's need for us to fight for them, because we may fall back in that group tomorrow. No God, only God knows. Also, I want to tell you that the Executive Secretary for Persons with Disabilities, Mr. Ayuba, there was something he did to us in Yobe. I have spoken to him more than 5-6 times, but I only saw him today one-on-one. This person, in spite of his disability, he has provided wheelchairs, what do you call them? Crutches, and walking stick for the blind. Almost all over this country, all the states of the Federation. In fact, last year I spoke to him, he gave us 300 units of these chairs, clutches, and the walking stick for the blind, as a disabled person. So I was so happy that Mr. President chose him to be the Executive Secretary in order to advance the cause of disabled people in Nigeria. We must appreciate him, and we must appreciate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for this renewed hope agenda. Finally, I want to tell you that I have a dream that one day in this country, Nigeria, one of the disabled persons will be a member of the Federal Executive Council. That is when all the disabled people will have a say. Their voices will be heard loudly, because one of them is in the Federal Executive Council. Please, let's pray for that day to come. And inshallah, it will come when whether we are living or we are gone. But I have a dream. And one thing I will tell you, with your population of 35 million people, that means if you can come together, during election, you can do wonders. Because up to today, no single president has garnered even 20 billion to become president of Nigeria. You have 35 million people. That half population can change any government. Please come together, forge ahead, have a mission and vision. Inshallah, God will assist us, will assist you. That is my take.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Alaji. Next on the lineup is Our Excellency. Next on the lineup is Our Excellency Leilani bin Judah, PSM, the Australian High Commissioner to Nigeria. Is she around? Or our representative? She's not. Okay, she's not around. Alhaji Mohammed Idris, the Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, is next on our lineup. We want to welcome you for your special remark. He's also not there. Okay. I'll call on Dr. I would like to call CBM International, the representative of CBM International. Okay. You're welcome, sir. Please, let's welcome him to the podium. 2 minutes, sir.
Good afternoon, every one of us. My name is Omoy. I work with CBM International. First, the general said he will be sitting on the existing protocol. So I was wondering whether I could also join him to also sit on the existing protocol. First, we want to really congratulate every one of us here. For us at CBM International, we're very, very happy that we're having this conversation. I tell colleagues that the fact that you're having a conversation around disability inclusion, I think it shows the level of progress that has been made. 5, 10 years ago, if you were to organize this event, you won't see this number of organizations supporting this. So for us to have this number of organizations, partners, and all of us gather here means that there's a lot of progress that's been made. Having said that, at CBM we work to improve the quality of life of persons with disabilities. We work in the area of humanitarian action. We work in the area of community-based inclusive development and, of course, inclusive health. Now, during this work, one of the things we see that I thought we should use this opportunity to advocate for is that there's a huge gap when it comes to the technical capacity of partners who are interested in driving the issue of inclusion. So we'd like to advocate that even as we talk about transformational leadership, one of the things that we should collaborate about is how to build the capacity of all of those of us who are interested in driving inclusion to ensure that we have the capacity to mainstream inclusion into our daily lives. Secondly, as we talk about inclusion and transformational leadership for this theme of the year, we also need to talk about investing in organizations of persons with disabilities. We're happy to see that organizations of persons with disabilities and the National Commission are driving the agenda at the national level. But that's something that is not happening at the state level. We still have a lot of organizations of persons with disabilities who we need to build their capacity at the state level and at the local government level, because that's where you find the quantum number of persons with disabilities who need capacity to be able to self-advocate for themselves and talk about inclusion. So as we work together, that's an area I think we also need to invest in. Thirdly, before I sit down, one gap that we also have is the issue of data. I know we're talking about having 35 million persons as persons with disabilities. That is just an estimate from the WHO's work. But I believe that given what is happening in the country, given all of the issues we're having with banditry, with Boko Haram, and all of the things that are happening, and the level of poverty, if we were to get the actual data, I want to believe that this number is more than that. So that's something that I think that we can all invest in, work together, and find out how can we work together to ensure that we capture the actual data of persons with disabilities. If we want to really plan well to ensure inclusion, then we need the true data of persons with disabilities, not just persons with disabilities, but the different categories of persons with disability. That will help us to plan well. Finally, before I sit down, the space is huge for every one of us to work in. One of the gaps we also find when we're in the field is that we are all competing. We think that if we work together, then we can beat exclusion. As we celebrate this day, our biggest advocacy to all of us is the need for us to come together, work together to beat exclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, let's limit our messages to 2 minutes so that we can take everyone on time. Thank you. Dr. Morufu Olatuji Alausa, the Honorable Minister for Education. Is he around? Okay. Let me move on to Dr. Bosu Tijani, the Honorable Minister for Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. Okay, he's absent. Okay.
The next person to talk to us, I have something to say about him. Some years back, we had one very powerful man on earth that prided himself in how speedy he could be. He said he could stand at this other side of the net and play ping pong on his own. That is to say, he will hit the ball here. Before it gets to the other side, he has turned to the side to bring back the ball. That was how fast he thought he was. And he could turn off the light in his bedroom before he gets there. Before the room gets dark, he will be there. And his name is Muhammad Ali, the greatest. But that is not that boxer that is here with us today, but the next person to talk with us is in that name. Please, let's put our hands together for Professor Muhammad Ali Pate. Is he here? Or his representative?
He's ably represented by Dr. John Ovorai, the director in the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
I should use distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all dignitaries that are here, I want to warmly, once again, align myself with already established protocol. Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, is passionate and is doing everything health-wise to make sure the Federal Ministry of Health plays its role as it relates to the Disability Act in Nigeria. I'm Dr. John Ovorai, the Director and Head of the Gender, Adolescent, School Health and Elderly, and I'm also the lead in the Secretariat of the Ministerial Steering Committee on PWD inclusivity in the Federal Ministry of Health. Thank you very much for that. So when it comes to issues of disability, from the health perspective, when we view it from the lens of the Federal Ministry of Health, we know that the Federal Ministry of Health alone cannot tackle all issues because it's cross-cutting. And it is multi-sectoral and multi-approach that we need in order to make sure we deliver our needs. So we have the health sector reform initiative that is on, and it's inclusive so that there's enough funding to address all health needs of all Nigerians, person with disability inclusive. So the minister on his own, one thing that is very standing out is he had established the steering committee on PWD's, person with disability initiative, inclusivity in the Federal Ministry of Health. And this steering committee have all those that are stakeholders when it comes to issues of PWD in our country. The SSA to the president can attest to that. The ES, the National Commission of Persons with Disability, respectfully, sir, you are a member of that steering committee. And the next one that will be coming up, we will make sure we also remind you to be there. Thank you very much, ES, for identifying, and we'll be seeing your comment already and your representative. So, the Ministry of Health work closely with the OPDs, Organization of Persons with Disability, because we know that one aspect that is actually missing is identifying the health needs. And the health needs of persons with disability differs alongside the clusters, because different clusters have different needs. And so you cannot just generalize it and say, those that are blind and those that are deaf, this is what they need. No. Sometimes comorbidity. Sometimes one person may be blind and at the same time deaf. So the needs of that person is unique when it comes to health intervention. So we have recognized this because of time given as ministry. And we are already interfacing with all the OPDs such that we can harvest their input in the strategic action plan that will be rolling out come first quarter of next year by the grace of God. We are also working closely to make sure that on the 10th of this particular month where we are now, the Federal Ministry of Health is also going to commemorate the International Day of Persons with Disability on the 10th at Reims Continental Hotel. And most of us here are also invited because we don't want it to clash with one of the commission. We want to make sure the commission hosts this way we are there, and when we are doing the one on the 10th, to also be there. That's also to identify. Thank you very much. So on that note, warm greeting to all of us. And please, once again, speakers before me have said it, and I'm also just reiterating it. No one person, no one organization, no one ministry, no one department, no one agency can do this work. It's a teamwork. All issues And the best way to address issues is putting our energy, harnessing all our energy so that we can work cohesively and overcome our obstacles. Let's open up. Let's embrace each other. Let's communicate. Let's network. Let's make sure we move this forward. Thank you very much.
We'll soon be going to the person that will give us the keynote address, but before then, to transport home the entire message we've heard so far, we are inviting Senator Saidu Ahmed Alkali. He's the Honorable Minister of Transportation. Please, let's put our hands together for him. I know he's a man of very few words. He could do it in 1 minute. It appears he's not around, and there is nobody to represent. Okay, so you could just introduce the person to give us the keynote address then.
Okay, the special remarks that will be taken now will be from Professor Nentawe Goshwa. He's the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Is he in the house? The Honorable. Okay. So I'll call on Professor Olubukola Christiana Dada, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Kwara State University, to give our keynote address. Can we welcome her, please?
Good morning. Oh, I think it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy International Day of Persons with Disabilities. I'm Olubukola Christiana Dada, a special educator and the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Kwara State University, Malete, Nigeria. I bring greetings from my Vice Chancellor, Professor Sheikh Lukman Jimo. He has graciously allowed me to come for this program because today happens to be the day we intended to mark the day for persons with special needs in our university. But with the invitation of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, we have to shift our own to Thursday. Today I'll be talking about transformative solutions to disability inclusive development in Nigeria. Distinguished guests, respected colleagues, fellow advocates, we gather today to celebrate the International Day of Persons with Disabilities with a profound mission, and that is transforming the narrative. Our conversation transcends mere commemoration. It's a strategic dialogue about transformation, potential, and the untapped human capital that resides within the disability community in Nigeria. In Nigeria, as in many countries, the journey to achieving disability inclusive development has not been without challenges. After ratifying the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in 2007 and the optional protocols in 2011, it took 12 years of relentless advocacy work for Nigeria to finally get a Disability Act in place. And today, we have the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities in Nigeria. During those 12 years, the Disability Bill as it was called before being passed into law, failed to receive presidential assent about 3 times. The bill acquired the unenviable record of the longest and most protracted bill in the history of Nigeria, a position rivaled by the Nigerian Petroleum Bill. Who are persons with disabilities? Many people came out here to talk about disabilities. None of us is without a form of disability or the other. I could recall on the day I had my inaugural lecture, I forgot to put on my glasses, and I had to make use of the slides, about 125 slides. I could not continue at the stage. I quickly looked for my glasses before I could continue. Disability is any condition of the body or mind that makes it more difficult for the person with the condition to do certain activities and interact with the world around them. People with disabilities are individuals who have long-term physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairments that hinder interaction with societal or environmental barriers. This may limit their full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others. Disabilities can vary widely in type, severity, and how they affect daily life, and they do not necessarily prevent individuals from leading meaningful and productive lives. Disability is part of human being, just like I mentioned earlier. An estimated 1.3 billion people, about 16% of the global population, currently experience significant disability. This number is increasing due in part to population aging and an increase in the prevalence of non-communicable diseases, according to the World Health Organization in 2024. There are various types of disabilities. We have visual impairment, hearing disability, mobility disability, cognitive disability, mental health disability, which include and not limited to anxiety disorders, depression, schizophrenia. We also have developmental disability, which include autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, communication disability, which include challenges in speaking and understanding language. It's a challenge for me as a person to understand Hausa language or Igbo language. The only 2 I can understand perfectly, it's English language and Yoruba language. So just like I said earlier, we all have one limitation or the other. And the last one, social relationship disability. This is according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in 2024. The current socioeconomic realities paint a stark picture. Persons with disabilities face multifaceted barriers. Over 70% remain unemployed, less than 10% complete primary education, and an overwhelming 82% live beyond the poverty line. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent individual human stories of potential constraint by systemic barriers. The demographic breakdown of disabilities in Nigeria. The statistics I have here says that the people living with visual impairment include and not limited to 4.2 million individuals. The hearing impaired, about 3.8 million. The physically disabled, about 6.5 million. The intellectually disabled, the most neglected, about 2.9 million. Multiple or other disabilities, about 7.6 million and above. What is disability inclusion? Including people with disabilities in everyday activities and encouraging them to have roles similar to their peers who do not have a disability is disability inclusion. This involves more than simply encouraging people. It requires making sure that adequate policies and practices are in effect in a community or organization. Then, I move on quickly to the 4 pillars of transformative development, which are: 1, there is need for educational empowerment. There is no point talking about special needs education, talking about people with special needs, without talking about educational empowerment. They need to be empowered to be in the four walls of the classroom. The nearest school in the vicinity should be a place where persons with disabilities can also be educated. Another one is economic inclusion and empowerment. I'm so happy with what I'm seeing here today. I can see persons living with disabilities that are living happy and fulfilled life. Is this what we have truly in Nigeria and other parts of the world? No. There are still some that are not economically empowered and they are not included. We also need comprehensive accessibility. The access should be unlimited, both to education, healthcare, economy, mention anything that we have. And there is also the need for legal and policy transformation. What is the law saying about persons with special needs in Nigeria in particular? Are they being recognized by the law? Are persons with disabilities also engaging in other devices? That's a story for another day. What are the challenges to disability inclusion? One, inaccessible infrastructure. Coming here today at this big, beautiful hotel, I could see access. But are all our infrastructure in this manner? Another one, lack of awareness and training. Persons with special needs need to be trained. Not all will fit in to the educational sector. Not all will fit into the educational sector. I repeat, not all will fit into the educational sector, especially those are categorized as people living with intellectual disability. They are not remembered because they cannot actually benefit from the classroom environment. Then another challenge is economic barrier. Are they gainfully employed? Are they gainfully engaged? Are they living independent lives or they are depending on others? Another one is health disparities. Health disparities. When we get to the health facilities, are there people that can actually assist us in engaging persons with special needs? Let's take people that are deaf. In many hospitals, we don't have sign language interpreters. So to even communicate what is wrong with them could be a problem. Then what do we do at KWASU? At KWASU, we try to make the environment inclusive. At Kwara State University, as of last year, we have only 10 students living with disabilities. But as I talk today, we have 27 students living with different types of disabilities. This is not something that comes by fast. It's through the efforts of the management of the university. If you are a student living with disabilities, it's automatic you get a waiver of 100,000 naira from your school fees. Because we realize that some are not able to access education because of financial difficulties. Another one is, even at KWASU, if you are a staff living with special needs, you have a monthly impress that can help you to do your activities unhindered. We also go ahead to have what we call the KWASU Disability Support Unit through the Office of the Vice Chancellor. And this provides any form of assistance for persons with disabilities. Somebody will say that is because you are the Deputy Vice Chancellor academic. No and no. All these policies came to be over 2 years ago when I was just a professor. I became a Deputy Vice Chancellor less than 4 months ago. So it's something that it's in the practice of the university. What are my recommendations for this transformation? Policy and legal frameworks must be put in place, which we have, but we must implement. Also, there is need for accessibility. We should ensure that public spaces, transportation, digital tools, and communication services are accessible to all without any form of hindrance. And then, what we clamor for all the time, inclusive education. We need to train more teachers, provide assistive resources, and create inclusive school environments while supporting specialized needs. And finally, social inclusion. we need to conduct awareness campaign. I'm happy with what I saw yesterday at the campaign. And I know when we come out to tell people more about special needs education, more about persons living with disabilities, then there will be the awareness and people will be eager to do more for persons with disabilities. And like I said, it is all about us as professionals and as persons with special needs. I wish us a happy celebration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. You can now see the reason why it should be given to women to handle. When you do that, you will have multiple benefits for doing it. Okay.
I would like to recognize the presence of Mr. Bello Abdullahi, represented by Professor Daniels. Sorry. This is not too clear. Represented by Professor Polilions Chijioke. Please, let's give him welcome. Clap.
Okay,
Welcome,
ladies and gentlemen, if the seat is already getting too warm and your stomach is rumbling and asking questions that you have no answer to yet, we'll soon be going for tea break. But before then, no, just hold on. It's not now. Wait. We have to give honor to some people that have been very good, organizations that are good in the assisting of affairs that have to do with persons with disabilities. They deserve some recognition and award. And I will mention just two out of them, then Folashade will take on with the remaining of them. First on the list is World Bank. Please, let's put together our hands for them. And then we also have Site Savers, who have also been very wonderful in these activities. So Folashade, tell us.
They are organizations that have been very supportive. They are partners in progress with the Commission, and the Commission will love to present awards to them. So the first person on the list. Okay. Our first, sorry for the break in transmission, like we say in my sector, in the media. Sorry for the break in transmission. We would like to declare the event open. Sorry, please, can I have one of the organizers, please? We would like to declare the event open before we do the presentation of the awards. The representative of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Mr. Ezekiah Sunday, will declare the event open. Can we please welcome him to the podium?
Good afternoon, distinguished guests. I'm back again.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. I commend all the people that have presented goodwill messages here on behalf of their organizations and bosses. Honestly, your speeches, I was overwhelmed with all the messages you put across before us here. And I am already optimistic that the next session is going to be wonderful, because some of you have already presented some solutions already, suggesting the ways out of these transformative solutions to development in Nigeria. One, we engage ourselves in inclusive efforts, trying to bring up PWs together in all areas or spheres of life in Nigeria. Like I said, I came here to stand in for my Honorable Minister, Professor Nentewe Goshwe Yilwada. And on behalf of the Minister, I wish to declare this occasion officially open.
All right, now.
So I implore stakeholders, please put in your best in finding lasting solutions to transformative development in Nigeria as it concerns PWDs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sorry, Ezekiel, for interrupting you. Okay, are we good to go?
Yes, we are good to go.
The first on the list to receive the award is World Bank. Shall we put our hands together for them?
Can we have one of the organizers, please? We welcome the representative of the World Bank for the award. Thank you for partnering with the Commission. Thank you for being very supportive, preaching inclusion, equity, creating awareness, and making sure that the Commission stands as the voice for the voiceless in the society. The World Bank representative, please.
Nobody?
Okay, next on the list is?
As we wait for the World Bank who will receive it for them, let's welcome Site Savers. They are also partners that have been wonderfully helping the National Commission. Do we have someone to receive the award for them?
Yes, she's here.
Okay.
Let's welcome her, please. She's been very supportive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You are welcome.
Nice to meet you again, sir.
Thank you. To see you. On behalf of the... We want to thank you, Site Savers. In fact, you are doing a lot in Nigeria. And especially your support that you have been giving to the NCPWD to ensure that they carry out their activities effectively and efficiently for the interests of the PWDs in Nigeria. So I wish on behalf of the Commission to hand over this award in recognition of your efforts towards the success of the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next is the International Idea Rolak. The representative. Please, let's welcome her. She's coming forth. Him. Her. Him, her. She's a her, and she's representing Rolak.
Rolak.
Idea International. International Idea.
Because of your efforts in ensuring that the
CBM.
National Commission of Persons with Disabilities achieve their goal in running the affairs of the Commission for the betterment of the lives of PWDs in Nigeria, I wish, on behalf of the Commission, to hand over this award to you in recognition of your efforts and support to the Commission. God bless you.
Okay, next on the list is one organization that its role cannot be forgotten. For a very long time, Christopher Blinding Mission, which is CBM, have been very, very supportive. Oh, okay, CBM International have been in the affairs of helping persons with disabilities, and they are a very good partner with the National Commission. Is there representation? Okay.
You are welcome. Because of your concerted efforts, support, and encouragement that you have been giving
to the Commission as well as the PWDs in Nigeria. The Commission wishes to recognize you by giving you this award. So on behalf of the Commission, I wish to hand over this award to you.
Next is the CBM. Just hold it. We would like to call Honorable Abba Issa to come and do the next presentation. The next presentation is for CBM Global. The next presentation will be done by the Brigadier.
Thank you so much. Award of Excellence. Who? Are you the one? Thank you so much. This award of excellence on behalf of 35.1 million Nigerian persons with disability and the National Commission for Persons with Disability, I would like to present this award recognition of your outstanding commitment and partnership in support of disability inclusive development in Nigeria. CBM Global, they are supportive to persons with disability. I remember even in my state, Yobe State, they have been there for almost getting to 10 years, impacting positively to the life of persons with disability. So I will encourage you to deepen, to sustain the partnership and collaboration for the betterment of disability inclusive in Nigeria. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
The next presentation will be done by the Brigadier General, BSKG. You're welcome, sir. And the award will be given to the Leprosy Mission Nigeria representative. Leprosy Mission.
Good afternoon, madam. On behalf of persons living with disability, I've been instructed to give this award in recognition of your support for this organization. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, the day is far spent, but like I said from the beginning, there will be no dull moment. This time around, we are going for the group photograph, after which we will have tea break, and then we will be having art exhibition. Please, we will not take much time on that because we want to return and quickly finish up the remaining activities we have for the day. Thank you very much for your patience. Please, just hold on. We are going to tell you how to come out for the group photograph. Just 1 minute. We will tell you how to organize.
Please, we want to call on all the dignitaries on the first row to come for the group photograph. the SSA to the President of Disability Matters, Honorable Yusuf Umar, Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Religious Affairs and Ethnic Reorientation, please, all the management staff of the commission should please join them now. All the management staff of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. Management staff, please join the dignitaries, please. Head of all clusters should please stand by. You'll be joining them too. Head of all clusters. All heads of disability clusters that are here present, please join our dignitaries. All head of clusters, please join them. Please, let's be a bit patient for the heads of clusters to join. All heads of clusters, please join. If you are representing the visually impaired, the hearing impaired, all the groups, please join them. Thank you.
Okay, after the photograph, what your stomach has been asking you questions about all of this while, the time is now. So we'll be going for tea break. Shortly after then, we'll be at exhibition. Then we'll come back to round it off.